The last video left off with me beginning to put this box up in the sky, and then my phone rang and the video stopped recording. So I am going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it over here this time. So I'm going to draw a perpendicular line, perpendicular to the edge of the paper or parallel to the edge of one paper in the sky. We're calling the sky, and I'm going to take the bottom and the top of that, just like I did with the one on the other side, or all of them. So you're going to see just the corner of this form once again. So very carefully measuring to the vanishing point on both sides. And sometimes this will feel wrong, you guys. Like you'll be drawing it and you'll get this feeling like this is no way is this going to be right. Just go with it. As long as you're doing the technique correctly, it'll look right when you're finished. So I didn't get that. So speaking of not doing the technique correctly, I kind of missed the top of the form there, so I'm going to just redraw it. And that's why it's good to have light pencil line, and then you can just erase when you're incorrect. Okay, I can erase the rest of that line later. So we want to be able to see the bottom of this form because it is both above our eye level and either in front of or behind this object. So we have to kind of make a choice of whether it's behind or in front. I think we'll put it behind, like an overhang. At any rate, we're going to use the ruler width to make sure that this line and this line are absolutely parallel to one another. Because when you try to do it, it's gonna look funny. So the first time you do it, in order to make sure you're absolutely parallel, just use the ruler width. And then we're gonna do that on this side as well. We're not gonna see it quite as much because it's going to be behind the building. Let's just make sure it's absolutely parallel and back it up a tiny bit. So this line that I'm putting down here, got to be absolutely parallel to this one. Super important. And now we're going to take the bottom of this line and take it to the opposite. So even though it's going to be above the first box we drew, I'm going to draw all the way through just to make sure I get the illusion correct. And then we take the bottom. So the bottom of the lines, the orthogonals go from the opposite side, and that's how you end up seeing the bottom of the form. And I call them, they're orthogonals, but I say orthogonals sometimes. So this is when you get to decide where it is, and then you erase the lines that you don't need. You erase the orthogonals you do not need. And then we have placed this box sort of perched up on top of this one. You see that there? And you can do the same thing with a light source. Place a light source in here and get planes of light and dark that you can then draw in later. So I'm gonna populate the rest of this drawing with a time lapse and you can see how it ends up.